What up, y'all? Just a tribe. So this is just a little series I was doing because I'm getting back onto this social media bandwagon and making sure that I give y'all some good fun content. And so I am talking about my most recent trip that we just took to Nepal and Bhutan. And this video is gonna just be about doing that Hajj up to Tiger's Nest. Dun dun dun. So usually the most famous, or rather the image that is mostly associated with Bhutan is their temple that they call Tiger's Nest. And it is this massive Buddhist temple that is literally built on the side of a mountain, y'all. Like on the side, all right? So it is at its highest height. You are clearing almost 3,200 meters, all right? 3,200 meters, which is over 10,000 feet that you are walking up to come and see this very sacred temple. If you are a Butanese Buddhist, going to this temple is mandatory. You must, at least one time in your life, climb to the top to this Buddhist as your Buddhist pilgrimage, as your Hajj, you know. And as they say, for you to do your Hajj, it has to be hard, right? It can't be something that's easy. It can't be, again, right, that you just grabbed you a car, rolled up to the front door and was like, all right, hey, all right, did my pilgrimage, great. Like, nah. For these guys, Butanese people, Jains as well, if you're going to make a pilgrimage and you're going to, and it's in, you know, to do as a good Buddhist would do, you've got to make it hard. And when I tell y'all this thing was hard, it was hard, okay? So I had done like a lot of research prior to, because I've got a nasty habit of just kind of jumping in and then learning about it later. And sometimes, you know, when you do that, you get stuck in some of these situations where it's like, you know what? If I would have just read something, or if I would have just done a little research, I probably would not be in this position, right? What comes to mind is and there's a video about it already, was when I had gone whitewater rafting in the Zambezi River. If I would have just read a little bit more about it, I don't know if I would have gone. I don't know if I would have gone whitewater rafting in that Zambezi River. So anyways, I did a lot of research prior to, right? Because I didn't want to get caught out there. I didn't want to be out there without the right, you know, the right items that you need to be doing this Hajj or whatever. So a lot of these guys on the internet, you know, when they're telling you about this Tiger's Nest, they're like, oh, it's very fulfilling and, you know, it's like hard, but it's not crazy. So I also think that those people who are saying it are people who hike regularly, they trek regularly, maybe on their vacations are revolving around trekking and backpacking and living like that. For a modern city girl like myself who exercises, but I am no hiker and I am no trekker because that is not fun for me. When I tell y'all this thing was hard, y'all, this thing was hard, okay? So at all the things are like, oh, you can take a pony up to the midway point and then you can walk. And then some of them are like, but don't take the ponies, don't take them because they're mistreated and just enjoy the adventures. Fuck all of that, all right? Fuck all of that. Yo, I took the pony, y'all. I took the pony, all right? And it was me and like a couple of the older people. So the other thing, just so you realize, like in Bhutan, because it is expensive to get there and it is not the most like top 10 places to go, you know, the average age was like 65, all right? Like it was like 65. And some of these 65-year-olds were fit AF, all right? But not all of them, all right? So I got a horse. Now my uncle who's 60 was like, I don't need a horse, I'm fine. I was like, y'all don't hike like this. Y'all don't do this, you know? And he was like, I'm fine, Rita. All right, fine, do you, fam. I hopped onto my little pony God bless that little pony. He got me up there safe, thank you. Because when I tell you that path going up is not the widest and there are no guardrails, and when I tell you that thing goes straight down, it goes straight down. I did try to take a video of myself on the pony trying to take the drop on the side. I scared myself, y'all. I scared myself. I did not, okay? There's the little video and all you see is because I was like, oh, girl, you can't see down like that, okay? You can't see down like that. So I had my little book bag with like my little hydro. I had added some electrolytes to my water so I could have some extra boost. And then I had some candy with me and that was it. So you begin, all right? So it's just vertical, y'all. It's just vertical. Again, for those who hike and all of that, maybe this is like, oh, Rita, you're just, you're a punk. I'm a punk. I'm going to be that, all right? I ain't got no problem saying so. I'm not here to impress none of y'all. I'm just trying to go do my Hajj and let me just see what I can see. So I got onto the pony. Now, I overheard some folks down on the ground where you get the ponies where they were like, oh my God, I would never do a pony because I would only do it if I was like fat or old. All right. So we got up on our ponies and sure enough, those same females who were over there talking about all that, they was winded, y'all. They was winded and they wasn't even nowhere near being halfway up. This was literally 20 minutes into the hike. You just saw people sitting on the sidewalks, just breathing heavy and just being like, okay, so, and it's like, yeah. Do you climb an altitude like this? Because if you climb an altitude like this, you shouldn't be huffing and puffing. Looks like you should have gotten yourself a pony. So anyways, we passed them and we continued. We got up to the cafeteria point. So the cafeteria is like the halfway point. And this is now where you could take like a break. You can take a rest. You can take some tea. You can like relax. I waited for my uncles to meet me up over there. And then from there, you have to do the rest of the trek by yourself. And then coming down, you got to do the whole thing because they say it's really unsafe to go down with the ponies going down because of the way that the incline is. Looking at it, they were 100% right. Like, I feel like it would just be a recipe for disaster. So anyways, we got to the halfway point to the cafeteria. We had like some sugar and then we got like some tea just to give us a little more energy. And then we started climbing up there. Now, in all of these books, they're like, oh, you're just going to go up and then you're going to get to like 800 steps before you get to the temple and there you're it. So again, I don't know why they don't count the steep hill stairs because y'all, it is like 10 times more than 800 stairs, okay? It's a lot. So, but it's beautiful. And what is really cool is that you start realizing, so as you're going higher and higher in altitude, the mountain topography changes and it's like the coolest thing, right? So once you hit a certain level, all of a sudden, all the trees are just covered in this like gossamer, very thin, very like wafty moss that just grows on all of the trees. And it's like so light when the wind picks it up, you just see it like fluttering in the air. And the only reason why it's there is because you only get that type of vegetation on your trees once you hit a certain altitude and if the air quality is clean. So imagine some of the hikers that I know here in Kenya, they have never seen any of this moss, even though we have mountains that do hit this altitude. It doesn't exist here because the air is too dirty. Because this place is such a clean environment, imagine certain flora and fauna can flourish because of how clean the air is. And you realize as you're going up, because the topography changes. So once you even get to the height of it, the trees change again. It's very, very cool. So you're going up, you do have to take a lot of breaks because there is no air up there. Okay, again, for those of y'all who climb in high altitude, bravo to you, good luck to you. I guarantee you at least 70% of the people who are there don't train like this. So you got to take your breaks, man. Like, take your breaks. There ain't no shame in it. You got to catch your breath. In fact, one of the guys was like, y'all need to stop talking because there's no energy up here for you guys to be talking. And it's true. And it's nice because it's like, it really lets you to be in your own head and really lets you experience what this arduous Hajj is, right? Because like, you got to dig deep. I was digging deep. I know that much. I was digging deep. So then when you finally get up to there's a little part where it's like they're like, oh, this is like your rest period. It ain't really no rest, y'all. It's still going up. It's just that there's not as many stairs to go up. So anyway, so you're gonna go up, and then you finally get to see just how high you have climbed, and then you see how the tiger's nest is kind of like on the same plane as you. However, to get there, now you're just on the sheer side of like rock, and now you start the stairs. So you got to schlep down like 700 stairs to get down to a bottom, and you're tucked inside of this like rock formation, and then you got to climb another 200 steps to go up. And then when you get to the temple, they take everything from you. You can't go in there with cameras, you can't go there with anything, you can't go in there with book bags, you can't go there with hats, you have to be fully covered, because again, this is a very sacred site for these people. And they take everything from you, right? Because let's be honest, Americans are good for fucking around, right? And be like, well, whatever, I don't understand why I can't just take my camera. Because you're not allowed to. And because you idiots aren't allowed to, you know what? Everybody lock your stuff up. Everybody lock it up. Nobody needs any of that nonsense, right? So we locked everything up, and then you got to climb inside of these temples. And the stairs are so big, okay? And you know, these Butanese people are not tall, all right? Like, I was a gentle giant amongst these small little miniature mountain people. So if these like steps were that high for me, again, they made it really hard, right? Because it's like, for a short person, it's like, no, this is work, bro. This is work. But it was just so satisfying. When you get up there, when you see how high you are, when you see how the valley unfolds around you, when you see the temples, when you see the figurines, when you see the statues, when you see how high they have built this. Incredible. So anyways, now you're up at the top. And then they have a part in there, because the legend goes that the Buddhist was transported to this area by one of his disciples, who changed into a flying dragon and then flew him up there. And that there was a place where the tiger would sleep inside the temple. And so you could climb down inside of it. Ooh, Lord, if you would have fallen inside of there and broke yourself, I don't know how they would have gotten you out. Like, on some real talk. Like, it was so tucked up inside, like the ladder and everything to get inside of there. It did not feel or look safe, but because, again, I am naturally a very curious person and I have to see everything, I did go down there. My uncle started screaming at me to come back up, because I guess I was taking too long. And so I just went back upstairs, right? No need to give a heart attack to the old man. And then, you do your prayers. You get your blessings, you get your holy waters. There's a lot of monks up there. There's a lot of people who are praying up there. And then you got to go back. Right? And so, it's like, now that you're inside the temple, your body's cooled down again, you're back to normal. And now you got to rev your heart back up, because you got to go all the way back, because there ain't no elevator at the end. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, all right, you made it, great. Here you go, quickie going down. Nah. Y'all got to go right back the same way y'all just went. And remember all those stairs? I said the 700 stairs to go down. You got 700 stairs now to schlep back up. All right? Whew, y'all. And this is what they say. It's like to dig deep. It's like, no, I'm making it back down, because I am now ready for a beer, and I am now ready to just chill. Because after our trek, we had a traditional Butanese hot stone bath set up to like help soothe the body. And when I tell you your girl was ready to go lay down in somebody's hot water and soothe herself, she was ready. So we started going back. My other uncle just flew down the mountain. He was like, deuces, this is not a team sport. Y'all get down whenever you get down. He left us. So I just stayed with my uncle. So we would take our little breaks and stuff like that. And then we finally made it down. It took us about 2 hours to get down. Now, I am happy to report that our guide was very impressed with us. And he was like, you guys actually made it down a lot faster than what I thought you guys were going to make it. And so this has been a much more pleasant day for me. And I was like, thank you. Don't judge a book by its cover, okay? So we made it down. And like, oh, Lord, you felt like in Waterworld, dry land. Like, oh, thank God. Thank God we made it to the end. Thank God. Oh, so then so it was nice. We had some more tea just to kind of give us a little more energy. And then we went to a traditional Butanese farmhouse where we had another like really tasty meal. We had a lot of their local liquor. It's called ara, and it's basically like sake. And so we had a couple of shots of sake, and then we went into this traditional Butanese hot baths. Ooh, y'all, fantastic. So imagine a stone structure, and it like looks like a farm, and then you go inside like a little room, and there are 3 bathtubs that are made out of wood in the room, and that one side, the back wall, opens out to the outside. And they fill it up with all of this water. They fill it up, and then they put lots of herbs and leaves and foliages, which are traditionally used to help like soothe sore muscles and fatigue. And then you like get inside. Oh, so it's like 2 per room. So my mom and I were in one, and then the middle bathtub is filled with freezing cold ice water. So you get into the bath and you just soak and you marinate, and then you can jump into the freezing and then go back, and it's really exciting. And then when you want more hot water, you just like tap on the back wall and you're like, okay, hot stone for bath 6. And so they open up a little special compartment, and then they plunge in this boiling hot stone, and you just see all the water around the hot stone just start to like bubble. And then they remove the stone, and then they shut the door, and then you just get this massive flood of like hot bath water. When I tell you it was amazing, they could have left me there for at least another 40 minutes. Honestly, they could have left me, but my mom is one of those like, all right, I'm done. Let's go. So I was like, look, you go step outside, give me like 15 more minutes, right? Because what is life without compromise? So anyways, I stayed in there for a little while longer, and then I changed, and then we were getting into the car, and then my guide says to me, you know, Rita, this whole time you've been in there, I've been thinking, you know, I want to boil you like a chicken. You know, I just want to just eat you and just boil you like a chicken and eat you. He was like, I wasn't going to tell you. And I said, but here we are. I said, did you feel like you really had to tell me that? He was like, yeah, I really wanted you to know it, but like, boil you like a chicken. Have you ever had anybody say that to you and actually give you the finger licking good fingers while they're imagining boiling you in steaming hot water like a boiled chicken with some herbs? No, you haven't? Okay, well, I have, and let me just share that with you. It was very weird. I told one of my girlfriends, and she was like, I find that very inappropriate. I didn't find it was inappropriate. I was just like, that's what you're thinking while we're all in there, like to boil me like a chicken? That's freaking weird. It's weird, but whatever, bro. Whatever gets you through the night. You know what I mean? Keep it in here for later, if you know what I mean. Spank bank. So anyways, that was the day. So we finished up our day, and then we went back to the hotel. The king was there, and he was having lunch, and they've got a very strict rule that you cannot see the king, and you're not allowed to look at the king. The only time you're allowed to look at him is if he's there doing official duties. So it's kind of cool. Everybody was like averting their eyes because, again, he's so revered, which I thought was very, very cool. And then, yeah, we went back to the hotel, and we just had a really nice dinner. The hotel was fantastic. And we just chilled, you know what I mean? Like, they washed all of our clothes, washed our shoes, so you don't have to go back with like dirty stuff. It was really nice. And then the last day, we just kind of hung out. You know, we just really enjoyed the full facilities of the hotel, had a really nice lunch, got really good day drunk, you know, did some shopping. I bought myself a beautiful Butanese robe. Weaving and all of that is one of their main like items that they do. So it's gorgeous. And that, y'all, was our time in Bhutan. It was really magical. It was really fun. It was very eye-opening. It's been a long time since I have been on a vacation where I really felt immersed into something that was very different and really got to enjoy just something that was very unlike anything I've done. I don't have any other country to compare it to because I've never been to a country like this. And that was also very fun because the one thing you do realize as you travel is that the more and more you go to different places, you actually realize how similar people are, right? And in fact, people are not that different. And in fact, religions are not that different. In fact, even while we were there during Ramadan. It was a high holiday for the Buddhists. I mean, it was a high holiday for the Buddhists. It was a high holiday for the Hindus. It was Passover for the Jews. It was Easter for the Christians. And it was Ramadan for the Muslims, you know? And so, you know, we're much more alike than what we'd like to believe that we are, right? And it's nice to be reminded of that. especially as we move into now, you know, what feels like very much so, much more xenophobia and much more nationalism, right? Anyways, that's all I got for y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comments, likes, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what's up. If you want to see some more things, I'm going to try to add some more photos in here. But like I said, I messed up on the orientation, so I hope it works out. But if not, I'm going to catch y'all later. Bye.